Road Match. Wow. Many of you may be familiar with the unforgettable lyrics from the winning Road Match song 2019 to 2020. Everybody put your hands up and lift off the stress. Lift off the stress. I remember that. I need to lift off the stress right now. From Grandmaster's Band. The atmospheric sight of hundreds of revelers jamming behind their band of choice, playing mass, and echoing the band's catchy lyrics. At the end of Carnival, everyone looks out to see which band will receive the overall title of Road Match Champions. Well, today, we have with us Smiley, and he is the lead vocalist of Grandmaster's Band, which is the reigning Road Match Champions. Yes. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
We see why they call you Smiley.
Can't help. It comes with the persona.
All right, so the first question that I have for you, Smiley, is what makes the band relevant after all this time? How do you continue to attract so many people, that following that you have?
Well, we try to relate. And in doing that, we try to see what people like. We experience with other things, other genres of music, and see how it meshes with our soca music. And we put it out to the public. And if they gravitate to it, then we venture more. If not, then we back off and we try something new. But that's basically all it is, trial and error. I mean, to stay relative, you have to be into trial and error.
So tell us a bit, I mean, I guess you were explaining a little bit in that answer what it takes to write a song. Can you walk us through it a little bit more? Again, you said you throw out something, you try it, maybe a little chant.
Right.
See if people like it. How does that, tell us the process.
Well, as of late, I realize people do gravitate to the band. I guess it's because the name is a big name, so people look out for whatever Grandmasters is gonna bring, Smiley is gonna bring, you know what I mean, the big bands. And if it's something that they could relate to, then they gravitate. And then we now, in turn, would decide which one of these chants we would use as a song. You know what I mean, to paint a picture. Basically, I'm the primary writer, so I would write what I feel is most appealing to present that song to the general public, and most of the times, they do love it.
I love it.
So in selecting that song for Road March, is there ever a chance or an opportunity where you go and you have people listen to it potentially and be like,
well, I would take it to all the guys in the band, and they would do their critiquing and what's not, to say what they like and what they think I should change, if it is a melody, if it's certain lyrics, and stuff like that. And then when we come up with the best format of it, then we move forward in terms of recording and what's not.
Okay, so I know that there's been a long existing rivalry between Grandmasters and Sugar Band. We actually had mention on here. I'm happy you guys were on 2 separate days. But now there are more younger bands. There's different players in the game now. Can you tell me, like, who do you feel are still the top competitors? Do you still feel like it's between you and Sugar Band and Smiley?
Yeah, that hasn't changed. That hasn't changed. Even though you have bands that are coming into the game, it hasn't changed. Basically, the general public still looks out for the supreme bands, the major bands, to present something in terms of making Carnival. So even though the small bands would make their contributions, the general public looks out for those bands in particular to bring Carnival.
And we are here having a very lively discussion. I wish it was lyrical discussion, but we're having a lively discussion with Smiley of Grandmaster's Band. And we're going to take a moment to listen to and watch some of your music. Here we go. So we just looked at some of the songs. As I was looking at you watch them, it looked like you were experiencing it all over again for the first time. We took you back to 2008. We brought you all the way up to 2019. What were your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, it's just memorable. I mean, you could picture the crowd. You could see exactly what took place back then and how it was. I mean, it was a fight, though. It was a fight. I mean, the other bands were very competitive, same way. So it had to be a fight. You know? Even when we had the whale, that was like a real big bounce back for us, because we had a couple of years that we were more or less we were on top, because we had just won the road match before that year. So when we came back with the whale, now people were saying, oh, I wonder if they could two-peat. I wonder if they could win it again. And then when we brought the whale, everybody was like, yo, ain't no stopping these people, boy. Ain't no stopping these people. Because, I mean, everybody was wailing.
Yes.
And people literally thought that we meant to go out on the sea and wail. Eh? But, as I said in the song, it's just a slang that we used to say, I want to whine on you. So we wailing.
Right. I remember that song very well, because I think everywhere I turned that Christmas, I was hearing, I remember people in T-shirts saying, I just want whale. So that was a really iconic one for me. I mean, tell us even what was your thought pattern like for writing Walk Your Shift in 2012? Another big one.
Yes. Okay, as you, I don't know how you see it or how you perceive it, but it actually meant the same thing. It actually meant the same thing. It just means your time to whine. So walk your shift.
So that's a recurring theme.
Right. It's basically about gyrating. That's basically all Carnival is about. Gyrating, drinking rum, having fun. That's all it's about.
Right.
And if you could portray it or bring it over in music or song, I mean, it speaks volumes and it goes further. Because people could relate to that, to say, well, hey, he said I should drink, and he said I should whine, and he said I should jump, or he said I should wave.
So we know what the next answer is going to be for Lift Off the Stress.
No, actually, Lift Off the Stress had a more in-depth meaning than just whining, because as you knew, like a lot of people was going through a lot of things, basically in terms of the depression, people were losing their jobs, things were getting slower. And it wasn't a fault of theirs. It's just that it's how the world evolves, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
Right.
Slow, it's fast. But they needed an avenue as to where they could just cool.
Right.
So when we came up with this slang to say, lift off this stress, it meant whatever is stressing you. Because, you know, the kids could stress you, your work could stress you. Literally, people alone just will stress you. So we just decided, yo, this one is a good one.
Yeah.
Lift off this stress.
Yes.
Because everybody got stressed. Even though you say you ain't got no stress, you have stress.